What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? So mock draft season is upon us, and we are going to be reacting to Bleacher Report's post-lottery 2020 NBA mock draft. So you guys really enjoy when I react to Bleacher Report's mock draft, so drop a thumbs up if you guys want to see more, maybe reactions to mock drafts. If you want to see from The Athletic, other YouTubers, let me know in the comments below. And like always, I will leave a link to the article in the description. So I did post my mock draft on my main channel yesterday, and then I did also post a video on this channel of me talking about which players I kind of want to go to each team. So let's see what Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report has to say. So he has Anthony Edwards going 1 to Minnesota. I think it's going to come down between Edwards and Ball, and I think you guys know my stance on it. I think Edwards is a better fit next to D'Lo, but you never know. They might want that star name in LaMelo Ball, and they think it could work with D'Lo and LaMelo in the backcourt. I don't know what Gerson Rosas and that front office is thinking, but I think Edwards is the more logical pick here. Play him next to D'Lo. He has defensive upside because D'Lo, not a great defender. He's a good shooter at the moment, and I think he could be a nice off-ball player in the NBA as well because we know D'Lo is a great passer. He's a good playmaker, so I think this should be the pick. Now, there's a realm where they could trade the pick. I don't know if they would want to trade down, get additional assets. If they like maybe an Obi Toppin, they trade down to like 4 and they get, I don't know, I think Chicago would trade Kobe White and like 4 for 1 maybe if they really wanted LaMelo. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if that's anything that could happen, but I'm just saying Minnesota could maybe trade down, but if they really like Edwards, they should go Edwards here with 1. So I agree with that. So 2, the Warriors take Wiseman. I think the Warriors also want Anthony Edwards, but I think if he's off the board, I like Wiseman a lot better for them than LaMelo Ball. Personally, I think they could also trade down as well. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they still have that trade exception from Andre Iguodala. If they want to move down and maybe acquire a player instead, I don't know if there's a center on the market that they would rather have or a wing player. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if they really liked anyone, well, I was going to say on the Knicks, but I don't think they would. Obviously, they'd probably want Mitchell Robinson, but the Knicks wouldn't move him to go up to 2. So I'm just trying to think like a team maybe at Atlanta. No, I don't know. So I do think we will see a trade in the top 5, but I like Wiseman here too. I also had him going to the Warriors in my mock. Hornets, LaMelo at 3. So now this was the one I was questioning. Does LaMelo fall to 4? Charlotte, I think, would go LaMelo if Wiseman's off the board now that I'm kind of sleeping on it. But my initial reaction was like they could maybe go a Kongwu here at 3 if Wiseman and Edwards are off the board. But you know what? You don't really, like, yeah, they have 2 good point guards at the moment, or a backcourt of Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. They're not, like, special by any means, but they're good players. But I think you still draft LaMelo Ball. Rozier has 2 years left on his contract. Devontae Graham, I believe, will be a restricted free agent in 2021, so I think I'm more open to the Hornets taking LaMelo Ball, which I don't know if LaMelo or LeVar is going to be happy with that. I hope we don't get a lot of, chatter saying LeVar is like, my son won't play in Charlotte. He only wants to play in Golden State, Chicago, New York, LA, or Miami. Hopefully it's something not like that, because I think this would be huge for Charlotte, a team that really need something after losing Kemba Walker. They were definitely better than what most people thought this year. I thought they were going to be the worst team in the NBA, and they weren't that. So I'm glad they ended up moving up in the lottery. And, yeah, they need kind of a star name in Charlotte because it is a big basketball state in North Carolina with Duke and UNC, but it's a more college basketball state. So let's hope that Charlotte could be on the rise with LaMelo Ball. For the Bulls, take Denny Avdia. I believe I had... I forgot. I think I have LaMelo in my YouTube mock draft, and I made like a quick Twitter mock draft literally right after the lottery ended. So it's going to change from time to time until a draft night, which I think it was supposed to be October 20th, but they might be moving it back. But I do like this as well. I do like Denny Avdia. 4 to the Bulls. I think him or Killian Hayes or Isaac Okoro, one of those 3 players, is logical for the Bulls at 4, so this isn't anything crazy. And I can definitely see the reasoning behind this. Honestly, they have their point guard in White, shooting guard in Levine, power forward in Markin, and center in Carter Jr. They need that small forward. That could be Denny, or that could be Isaac Okoro. Cavs at 5, Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin's a good player. I just don't like the Cavs because the Cavs pick for the Cavs because he wouldn't be starting. He's going to be behind Kevin Love. He's already 22 years old, and this Cavs team is going to be bad for a couple more years, you would think. But, I mean, if they had an NBA-ready player in Obi Toppin, and you have Sexland, you got Drummond, you got Love, you got Toppin, you have Jetty, Kevin Porter Jr., honestly, that team could win 35 games in the Eastern Conference and become like a 9 seed, like a respectable 9-10 seed. Not like the Wizards this year. I would say a little bit more respectable than what the Wizards were this year. And I think that would be something in the right direction. So, you know what? Who's on the board here? They already drafted 2 point guards in the last top 10s of the 2018 and 19 draft. So I don't know if I would go Killian Hayes here. But Maybe Isaac Okoro, but I wouldn't be opposed to top in either. I think they would really like Denny Avdija. Don't know if he falls to 5 because Cleveland might like him, or you never know, Charlotte might really like him. 6, Atlanta goes Tyrese Halliburton. I like Okoro a little bit better for them at 6, just because I think Okoro is a better defensive player and a defensive complement, or a complementary player next to Trae Young. But Halliburton isn't a bad pick either. I view more as a point guard, but I guess he could be kind of like a run and gun shooting guard next to Trae Young. He's a guy that's in transition. He's very lethal. He's a good playmaker. I don't know his shooting splits yet. So he shot 49% on spot-up jumpers, which is really good. But I'm not opposed to this. I think they should draft somebody that they want to put next to Trae Young. I've said it before. They have their front court in Capella and Collins, and we haven't even seen Capella in a Hawks jersey yet. They have their small forwards, who they drafted last year in the 2019 draft, in DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish. They obviously have their point guard. And I don't think Kevin Huerter's the answer at the 2. I think they need somebody a little bit better to play next to Trae Young. And maybe that's going to be Halliburton. Maybe. I do personally like Isaac Okoro a little bit more there. But my mind might change. So, Pistons. Onyeka Okongwu at 7. I mean, I do like Okongwu a lot. I think he's a top, probably 7 player in this draft. I just don't know if I like the fit with the Pistons because they're going to have Blake Griffin, who's going to play next year regardless, big minutes for them because of his contract and who he is. They hopefully are going to bring back Christian Wood, so he's going to be their starting center. Now, I'm okay with Okongwu being a backup, and then Blake's probably going to get hurt, so you could probably move Christian Wood to the 4 and Okongwu with the 5, and that's your front court for the future. And you know what? I could get down with that. I would also maybe like to see them go at, or maybe think about Killian Hayes here at 7. Let him sit behind D. Rose for a year, learn from one of the better veteran point guards in the NBA. And then once D. Rose's contract's up in 2021, you give Hayes the keys. I think I would like that a little bit more, but I wouldn't be opposed to Okongwu. I would just like Okongwu a little bit better if I know, like, either him or Wood wouldn't lose playing time to Blake Griffin, but they're just not going to be able to move Blake Griffin's contract, unfortunately. But I can see why they would want Okongwu, and I wouldn't be opposed to this either. I would like Killian Hayes a tad bit more, but I also like Okongwu's value at 7 for Detroit. Knicks take Devin Vassell at 8. Now, okay, so I really want the Knicks to draft a point guard, and with Killian Hayes and Cole Anthony on the board here, especially Cole Anthony, I don't know. I prefer Cole a little bit more than Devin Vassell, who's a good 3-and-D wing and could be a nice piece next to RJ Barrett. I just, like, the Knicks need so many things at the moment. I don't know if it's just a 3-and-D wing. Like, if that's what Vassell's going to be. But who knows? Maybe he can be really good in the NBA and he can average almost 20 points on good shooting. Who knows? But, I mean, Obi Toppin could be something here, but I don't think he falls to 8. But it's small forward. It's Mo Harkless and Kevin Knox at the moment. So, if you're giving up on Kevin Knox, which it's looking like you might have to, even if he's going to be a backup, Devin Vassell, you know what, it wouldn't be a bad pick. I wouldn't be totally upset, especially if he kills the workouts. He seems like he wants to play in New York. He wants to work. I know he's a hard worker. He's got a good character off and on the court. So I wouldn't be mad with this pick. I think I would like Cole. I like Cole a lot with RJ, but I wouldn't be upset if it's Devin Vassell. I would say, as a Knicks fan, Killian, Cole, or Vassell at 8. I'm good with all 3 of them. Number 9, we have the Washington Wizards taking Isaac Okoro. Perfect. Worst defensive team gets arguably the best defensive wing player in this draft. So it's literally a match made in heaven. I just don't know if Okoro falls to 9. I mean, he could. He definitely could. But I wouldn't be surprised if a team, I don't think the Knicks would take him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland or Atlanta takes him, or even Chicago. Like, if it goes LaMelo, Wiseman, Edwards in the top 3, I wouldn't be surprised if Okoro went a little bit higher, but this is literally perfect. I think getting a Okongwu or Okoro or even Vassell at 9 for the Wizards, and they should be able to get one of them, so I am a fan of that. Suns at 10 taking Killian Hayes. I like this pick a lot. I don't know if I'd rather have Cole at 10, but I'm good with Killian Hayes, especially because he's probably not going to be ready to be your number 1 point guard. So Ricky Rubio, 2 years left. Sit behind Ricky Rubio, another good veteran point guard that can help mentor Killian Hayes and have him ready to be a starting point guard, like a good starting point guard by 2022. And I think that'd be really good for Phoenix to find that guy that they can just pair with Devin Booker and have with DeAndre Ayton. And I think if Killian Hayes and Cole Anthony both fall to 10, I think this is great for Phoenix. And I think one of those 2 players will probably end up being a really good point guard. So I think that puts the Phoenix Suns in the 50-50 chance to draft a really good point guard. So late lottery, we got San Antonio taking Saddiq Bey. Okay. All right. I could see Saddiq Bey, definitely. Saddiq Bey or Aaron Nesmith to the Spurs. Could definitely see them taking a wing. And I'm not opposed to Saddiq Bey in the lottery. I like him a lot. I don't know if the Spurs would want to take him, but maybe they would. Maybe they would. Kings taking Patrick Williams. I'm also a fan of this pick because they would not. They could definitely use some defensive help. Barnes is getting up there in age, and obviously, I don't know if he's going to be there after his contract ends, even though he's got 3 years left. Bogey's a restricted free agent. They might trade Buddy Hield, so I want them to probably draft a wing player. And Patrick Williams could definitely be that guy, especially maybe put him to the 4. You could roll some lineups with him at the 4, Bagley at the 5. I would be very intrigued to see what that would look like. Pelicans at 13 taking Jalen Smith. I am not a fan of this pick. I think if Kyra Lewis is still on the board, if Cole Anthony is still on the board, I think you go one of those 2 players, especially Aaron Nesmith as well. I would like that a lot more for New Orleans than Jalen Smith because they have Zion at the 4. They have Kenrich Williams, who was a pretty good player last year. They still have Nicole Melli. They had probably bring back Derek Favors, I would think. Jackson Hayes, I just don't think they should go front court. I like maybe the backup point guard position behind Lonzo. Or just maybe another wing player. But I would really like point guard here for them. I've been harping on that. Either Kyra Lewis or Cole Anthony, who's still on the board here in this mock. Boston taking Precious Achiuwa at 14. I actually really like this pick because he could play center, and I think he might be a better center than he is at a small forward or power forward because he played a little bit of both, or of all 3 of those positions at Memphis this year. And he's kind of like, I've said, like a Swiss Army knife defensive player. He can play a couple different positions. I don't think he's going to have great offensive talent right away, but the Celtics don't need that, and I actually like that a lot. I do like Boston maybe going Achiuwa at 14. Okay, so we can kind of quickly go through 15 to 20. Magic taking Kyra Lewis. I think if you get him outside the lottery, that's amazing. So he really has Cole Anthony falling, but I'm open to Kyra Lewis being back up to Markelle Fultz for the time being. Portland getting Aaron Nesmith. I think this is also really good for them because they need kind of scoring on the wing, or specifically at the small forward position next to CJ, and then I guess we'll be next to Zach Collins when he's back healthy next year. So I think if they can end up drafting Aaron Nesmith, Patrick Williams, Isaac Okoro, or Devin Vassell, one of those 4, I think you have to be happy as a Trailblazers fan. Minnesota at 17 taking Tyrese Maxey, so they would end up with Maxey and Edwards, possibly 2 shooting guards in this draft. Okay, I would like them to maybe go for Pokusevski, who is the pick later, just a power forward that they could put next to Karl-Anthony Towns. In a perfect world, Patrick Williams falls to 17 and they could put him next to Cat. I don't think that will happen, but Maxey I think is really good value here at 17. But honestly, I would go Cole Anthony over Tyrese Maxey. I would even think maybe RJ Hampton over Tyrese Maxey, but still at 17, that's pretty good value. Dallas taking Pokusevski. It's been mocked in a lot of drafts because Dallas loves their forward players. They love bigs that can shoot. So this seems like a perfect match for them. And I would like this, especially if down the line they don't bring back Kleba, Dwight Powell, etc. He could just kind of slide in and replace one of those guys down the line because maybe he needs a year or 2 of development, and by then contracts will be up and he'll be on a rookie contract, and you're going to pay Luka a lot of money, so maybe you're going to want to use him on his rookie deal rather than bringing back Maxi Kleba on a $10 million contract. Brooklyn Nets taking Leandro Bolmaro. Okay, a wing player. I could see them really wanting Pokusevski in this draft as well, but Bolmaro, he's a crafty playmaking wing, and I think I could get with this pick, especially with, I mean, I plan on, I think they're going to bring back Joe Harris, even though he might make a lot of money. He might get overpaid just a little bit, even though Joe Harris is really good and deserves to get paid. I saw some reports that they might offer him like $17 million a year, and I feel like that's a lot. I don't know, especially when you're paying KD and Kyrie all this money, LeVert, DeAndre Jordan, and then, I mean, Dinwiddie's going to be a free agent in 2021. I'm just saying, Jared Allen's going to be restricted in 2021. I would maybe try to allocate your money to one of those 2 players over Joe Harris. And that's just my opinion, but hey, you might have yours. But if he's going to replace Joe Harris, I could see the reasoning behind that. Miami getting Cole Anthony, that's just unfair. I don't think he falls to 20. I don't. I think he's going to go in the lottery. I would like him at 8 to the Knicks. We'll see how he does. I think he's a lot better than what we saw from him at UNC this year. And if Miami gets him at 20, it's just unfair. It's just unfair at that point. Philly getting Tyrell Terry. They need a shooting guard. Like that a lot. Denver getting Jaden McDaniels. Like Michael Porter Jr., they're already a good team, and they don't need somebody that needs to play right away, so they can develop Jaden McDaniels, who definitely could use some time in the G League. So I like that as well. Utah getting Josh Green. They need scoring off the bench, especially at the wing position. So, hey, I'm a fan of that pick as well. RJ Hampton falling to the Bucks at 24. I don't know if he falls that far. He might not go in the top 20. I just think I think he will. But there's a chance he could fall. And the Bucks, he can learn from Eric Bledsoe, even Dante DiVincenzo can give him some pointers as a young guy who just transitioned to the NBA. So I think that's a great pick for Milwaukee. OKC getting Daniel Otoro. Backup center to Steven Adams. I would like for them to go after a wing player. I don't know who that is basically off the top of my head, but maybe look at the wing. Maybe Robert Woodyard there at 25. Boston getting Zeke Naji. Now, if you say Achu was a center, they're going another center here. So that's 3 centers in this, or they're going to have to play next year. Or they don't have to play Zeke Naji with Daniel Tice there. But and then you have Robert Williams. Grant Williams maybe more of a 4. But, I mean, if they go Precious Achiuwa at 14, I think they could maybe take a gamble on a wing or a point guard here at 26. Knicks taking Cassius Stanley at 27. I don't see them taking 2 small forwards in this draft with no point guard. Come on. I think they're going to take a point guard, and I could definitely see them maybe trading up at 27 if Cole Anthony hasn't gone by 20. Hey, if you can end up with Devin Vassell and Cole Anthony in the same draft, yeah, I'm on board with that. They have the assets to move up into the top 20, 100%. Cassius Winston to the Lakers at 28. I would like Trey Jones just a little bit better. Jamius Ramsey to the Raptors at 29. I like that pick as well. And then Boston taking Trey Jones at 30. I think that's actually a fantastic pick for them. So yeah, that is going to be for me though. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to this Bleacher Report mock draft. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments any other mock drafts you want me to react to. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.